So let's talk about the importance of vitamin E in muscle function, especially when you exercise. Now, vitamin E is typically known as an antioxidant, especially for the inner surface of your arteries. In fact, having enough vitamin E in the layer of your arteries can prevent the accumulation of platelets and clotting factors and all sorts of things that could build up that could potentially clog your arteries. But it's there to prevent the oxidation, of certain things like high blood sugar, chemicals that destroy the layer of your blood vessel. Because as soon as you have damage there, you start having cholesterol and calcium come in to patch this up, and then things start getting out of hand. Vitamin E deficiency is usually one of the first things to occur on the chain of events, because if you don't have enough vitamin E, things start to oxidize and build up. Vitamin E will also support the retina and the complications from diabetes that affect the retina, like retinopathies, which basically are dysfunctions of the retina or diseases of the retina. When you get diabetes, you have a high amount of sugar flowing through the bloodstream. The vitamin E will also help peripheral nerves and supporting them and preventing the damage that can occur from other things. One of the most important things that vitamin E can do is support the skeletal muscle membranes, Now think about this. When you exercise, you're actually adding stress to the body. You're tearing down muscle tissue and other tissue, connective tissue, and then your body repairs. So you tear and repair. You're actually tearing down at the microscopic level your membranes. And vitamin E is very essential in that repair action. If you don't have enough vitamin E, either it's not going to heal right, or it's going to heal with scar tissue. So we're going to get a slow recovery. If we're deficient in vitamin E, we get muscle weakness. We get muscle myopathies, which is a dysfunction of muscle. And that could be a lot of different things. If you're taking all the electrolytes for cramping in your legs or anywhere in your body, it's not working, take vitamin E. And I'm not talking about taking a synthetic version of vitamin E. I'm talking about a natural complex of vitamin E, not just the tocopherols, which there are 7 of them, like alpha would be one of them, but also the tocotrienols. All those together would form the vitamin E complex. That makes vitamin E very functional. If you take just one synthetic fractionated part of the vitamin E complex, you may not see the benefit. Reducing cramps can be improved with vitamin E. Also, if you have muscle stiffness and muscle spasm. One side note in absorption of vitamin E is you need a good liver and you need a good gallbladder. If you don't have a gallbladder, or you have a dysfunctional gallbladder, or you have a fatty liver, you could be deficient in bile. And because vitamin E is a fat-soluble vitamin, not having enough bile can prevent the absorption of vitamin E. In that case, you'd want to take some bile as an extra thing to help you absorb vitamin E. The other ways that you could be deficient in vitamin E, of course, not consuming enough vitamin E in the diet, but also having some type of malabsorption problem because you had some type of pre-existing damage in the colon itself. So now there's scar tissue, you had a history of antibiotics, whatever, and now you have gut damage, you can't absorb it. So that's another challenge you're going to have to overcome. All right, number 3, reduces the ability of your muscles to contract. Now that has to do with the strength of the muscle. I remember in practice, people coming in with weak muscles and a huge difficulty of exercising without becoming tired really fast. I would always recommend a complete vitamin E complex, and it's amazing how much more endurance they'll have. So if you have a reduced ability for muscles to contract because you're vitamin E deficient, you're going to get muscle fatigue. So you're not going to have the endurance of exercise. Your performance with exercise will be poor. You'll have tearing going on or breakdown in the muscle tissue, but without enough repair, so then you develop scar tissue. And this is one of the reasons why people will rub wheat germ oil or vitamin E on a scar because it can break down some of the scar tissue. Vitamin E can help reduce cramping, especially of your heart. So apparently it has something to do with increasing the amount of oxygen to the tissue to allow the muscle physiology to contract correctly and relax correctly. And one additional thing about that, if you're also deficient in vitamin B1, you'll develop a lot of excess lactic acid, as in restless leg syndrome, but that lactic acid could be anywhere in the muscle. You do need vitamin E and vitamin B1, and it just so happens that both of them are usually depleted when you're on a high carbohydrate diet. And I'm talking about refined foods, refined flour products, okay, like the bread, pasta, cereal, crackers, biscuits, pancakes, things like that, and high fructose corn syrup, which is refined sugar. And what food is high in the vitamin E complex? You have wheat germ, okay, you have leafy greens, sunflower seeds, almonds. Vitamin E is in a lot of additional foods, but if you exercise on a regular basis and you want to improve your strength and decrease the fatigue and improve your endurance, definitely apply the information in this video. And if you want to know a little bit more about vitamin E, I put a video up right here.